Sahna Bhavatu Sahno Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita classes. So, the whole Shastras, the complete Bhagavad Gita, is taken from the text of the Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is written by the great sage Ved Vyasa. So when Ved Vyasa, the story goes, this is the way the story goes. So the Ved Vyasa was writing the text. He could not get a person to write. He needed a so-called writer. And the writer came as Ganpati. And Ved Vyasa said to Ganpati, please write the text because it's just forming in my mind. Ganpati said, okay, I'll write. I'll write on one condition. You should not stop in between. If you stop in between, then I'll get off. Then I'll stop writing. Ved Vyasa said, of course, no problem. I also have a condition. And the condition is, if you write without understanding, then I will stop. Ganpati said, no problems. And the story goes that Ved Vyasa was continuously going on giving the stories of Mahabharata, and at super speed, Ganesha was writing until it came to the point of the Bhagavad Gita, where Ganesha had to think a lot about what Lord Krishna said. If we take people, Ved Vyas and Ganpati, and they are sitting and one is speaking, the other is writing, this attitude is good for the so-called students who like stories. Crocodile came, and the crow came, and the sonar deer came, Jataka tales, Panchatantra, all these stories. The actual spiritual literature is indicated by self-evolution. So the evolution is not of the world. It is not looking outside and saying whether that person is evolved or not, or whether this situation is good or bad. It's all how I am supposed to tackle things and beings around me. So when Ved Vyasa thought about writing the Mahabharata, he pictured a story of the 5 Pandavas, the 5 Pandavas who are virtuous by nature, 100 Kauravas who are bad by nature, vicious by nature. And this is not outside. This is within us. At every given point of time, we have 5 good thoughts, 5 virtuous thoughts, and perhaps 100 or more negative thoughts, negative emotions. It can be anger, it can be arrogance, it can be jealousy, it can be greed, it can be any of these emotions and its various manifestations. The story of the Bhagavad Gita is the fight between the virtuous aspects of my mind and the vicious aspects, which is the majority. And always majority wins, provided the virtuous people, though less, have Krishna by their side. Krishna represents a supreme intellect saturated with higher values of life. So there, it's not that there is no corruption. It is like there cannot be a corruption in this kind of a person. So this attitude is what makes the Bhagavad Gita. So all the fights are not outside. So majority of people who study Bhagavad Gita, they also, bahar bahut sare Kaurav hai, and we are supposed to fight the vicious. It's all within us, because Vedanta says it is the world within us that manifests as world outside us. It is the fear within that manifests as the world outside. So we have the vasanas, and our vasanas, our desires are creating the whole thing, the whole show around us. When that link is broken, that you say that no, in fact, the world and its relationships is independent of what I am thinking or what my gunas or vasanas are, there comes the trouble. That's where the trouble comes. And when you attribute power to the world on its own, then the solutions in the world will be adgallar. At least they will say that. You do that, this will become all right. So all the positive energies and auras and preservation, all those aspects of the world will come. All therapies will come outside, with an inclination that if you do that, something else will be set outside in the world. Vyasa had never that idea. The focus was always to change oneself within. So when Arjuna makes this quotation that, oh Krishna, when we are doing something which is for the higher, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, anything which is, we are doing something for the higher, then what happens to my efforts? If I die in between, what happens to my effort? Do they disappear? I think so, it disappears, because I can't see any effect after that. For such a person who is result oriented, Krishna gives those answers. No, no, don't worry, it doesn't disappear. How will it disappear? Whatever you are earning here, that disappears. You will not be able to take, or we will not be able to take any aspect of our life, enjoying material or sensual, to the next life, if the next life is there. But the spiritual knowledge, it will not go waste. It cannot go waste. So as you are seeking the higher aspects of life, systematically and slowly, and something happens in between, and we so-called pass off, pass on. When we do that, then the impact of this knowledge is such that next janma, don't worry, you will be born. I have already explained to you that when we are talking about this next janma, it is only for people who are so-called result-oriented. So a person who says that, listen, it doesn't matter whether the next janma is there or not. This knowledge, when I'm applying in my everyday life, I am finding more peace. I am finding more joy. I am finding more happiness. Therefore, I'm doing it. Whatever comes of it doesn't matter. Then you are at a very high quality. But others, there is next janma. And next janma, what? Don't worry. What do people want to be? Pure, not bad, and wealthy. You will get that. You will get wealth, so that you don't suffer in poverty, and you'll basically be pure. Pure. Better than that is if you are born in the house of the rishis. We already completed it. I'm just catching it up a little bit. When we are born in the house of the rishis, there Krishna says, oh my dear Arjuna, this is difficult to get it. You don't get it easily. Very, very difficult. And if you get born in the house of the rishis, you struggle harder than before and you reach the self. That's the beauty. So aim for the house of the rishis. I told you, house of the rishis is an environment, a situation which is conducive for one's growth. And that environment or the situation is not coming out of sheer luck. Oh God, please put me in this house. It's not that. It's my own preparation of desires and vasanas which culminate into that. So it demands, I need a house like that to fructify my desires. And then it happens. So that's what he's talking about. Say, if you get born in the house, that person struggles more and reaches the self. We'll do the next verse. Just a minute. Yeah. Chapter 6, verse 47. Yoginamapi sarvesham maggatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo maham same yuktatamo matah. And of all yogis, he who with the inner self absorbed in me worships me with shraddha, faith, he is considered by me to be wholly united, completely united. I have already explained. So it's a previous verse, the same thing going on. All the rishis, what is the high point is, of all the rishis, all the yogis who are struggling, how many people are keen to struggle for the highest? Especially now. So many people saying, sir, you know, temples are not there, churches, everything is closed, but everybody is praying. Very good. Everybody is praying. Praying for what? Corona, go. Go, Corona. Corona, go. So you're telling Corona to go. That is the prayer. Huh? Everybody is praying that way. No, the disease should not come and we should be all right and nobody should die and everything should be happy. And constantly praying. A true prayer. Here, if somebody went and asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, millions of people are praying to gods and goddesses all around the world, according to their own belief, whether it's Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Sikhs, whoever it is. They're praying. They have their temples, they have their churches, they have their mosques, and they have their gurudwaras. They have everything. Yet, why is Mother Kali giving darshan only to you? Says one of the students. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa smiles and says, it's a very good question. Everybody's praying, but how many people really want to see the God, to be in that spirit of godliness? Hardly anybody. They want a little bit. Like when we joined the ashram, for a 3-year course in Vedanta Academy, some students, some relatives, they said that, we also pray. We also pray, every day, half an hour, 1 hour, you sing some bhajans and all. So you should also pray. But you should not pray so much. That whole life goes into that. So what the idea is, a little bit of prayer, a little bit of drinking, a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit of family life also, a little bit of children, husband, wife, parents, a little bit of responsibilities here and there. A little bit of everything. A major in nothing. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what most people are. Majority of people love living a mediocre life. They live in a mediocre way. They have their belief systems not to hurt anybody in a mediocre way. And eventually they die in a mediocre way. This is what majority people are. So who really wants to have the vision of God? One boy went when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was taking bath, and inside the water he said that, Guruji, please teach me, please give me the darshan of God. Well, the darshan of God I can give you like that. Well, yes, really, please give me the darshan of God. Immediately Ramakrishna Paramahamsa held his head and put him down. And that person, that boy was struggling to come up. Eventually he let him go after a minute or so. He came out and he started shouting at Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what are you? You're trying to kill me. I just asked you for a darshan of God. He said, beta, when I pushed your head down, what was that one most important thing you wanted? He said, a breath of air. He said, is your pining towards Mother Kali or towards your God to that level that when you are completely down and out, you only want to find out who you are? That darshana. The meaning of darshana is not outside. The meaning of darshana is what you are within. If that kind of a fervor is there, you will reach it. That's what he's talking about. Of all the yogis, he who with the inner self absorbed in me, mind and intellect dedicated to me, with complete shraddha. We have explained this shraddha before. Shraddha is that consistency of purpose with which you set a goal towards your life and take your body, mind, and intellect towards that higher goal and don't leave it until you become it. This is Shraddha. So with Shraddha, he is considered, that person is considered by me, says Krishna, as wholly united. He does not need to declare in the society that he is a realized person. There's a lot of declaration going on with a lot of saints and sages. They, at least they don't say I am realized, but they act as if they are realized. So there's a lot of show going on. Here, Krishna says, don't worry. I know that he will be united to me. Who? Who? Anybody. Basically, it should be a Brahmin, a top class, who belongs to a higher caste. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, this slowly, very gradually, Krishna puts these words inside most of the shlokas. At least 9 to 10. I have not counted, I'm just assuming it. Saha Yaha. I'll give you a technique of studying the Bhagavad Gita. It's a secret, sir. Don't tell anybody, okay? This is only between you and me. The technique is, you read the shloka, understand the meaning of the shloka, and pick up 2 to 3 words, which is the main fulcrum of that shloka. Shraddha we have explained, yoga we have explained. Here we can explain he who. Saha Yaha. So who? He who. Not any caste, not any creed. Man, woman, or child, it does not matter. It really does not matter. So who is a spiritual person? He who is qualified. Who is qualified? A Brahmin going into various rituals, focusing only on what dhoti I am getting and what food I am getting. Perhaps a drunkard who is constantly drinking, and he's a Brahmin, he's wearing a thread. So he's been called by the side of the ritualistic people, and he's constantly has to only say Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. And for that Swaha, he gets X amount of money. A great income. Excellent. Swaha, Swaha. Is he a spiritual person? Are the people who are constantly repeating and reciting Sanskrit shlokas without understanding what it means a spiritual person? Or is a Mali, a gardener I met one day, where he was just sitting like this and in some deep thought, something was growing before him, I think so, palak or something. And I asked him, what are you thinking? So he says, कितने मजे की बात है ना सर, ये जमीन को हम कुरेद कुरेद के कुरेदते, फिर भी ये हमेशा देती है. Just translating for those who can't understand, how wonderful it is, sir, that this earth, we keep on digging and plowing and plowing and plowing into the heart of it. And yet, even with all that hurt and all that plowing, it just gives and gives. I have learned this from earth, that whatever happens in the world, my productivity should be much more than the receipts I have from the world. Who is a spiritual person? Krishna puts it very good. That person who's qualified. And who's qualified? Everybody, each one of us. We are all going to be qualified, if not qualified. See, spiritual studies is the most easiest studies of all. I'm seriously saying, okay? We tried it and it's successful. All you have to have is 4 qualities. 4. Just 4 qualities. Quality number 1, which majority of you already have it. I'll explain it to you how. Quality number 1, viveka. Viveka, discrimination. Discrimination between what is real and what is unreal. What is unreal, I or we will not get affected. What is real, we can get affected. It's okay. Chale. How do you define what is unreal or real? Reality is defined as that which existed in the past, that which continues to exist in the present, and that which will continue to exist in the future. This is the definition of reality according to the Shastras, Upanishads. So take this definition into consideration. What in my life is real? What I ate yesterday was real? No, it's gone. It's gone. It was temporary. What job I had yesterday, is it real? No, sometimes it is temporary. It disappeared. Situations change, things disappear. What is everything around, the whole scenario around me is temporary by nature. Could anyone have imagined 2 years back that everybody in the whole world will be wearing masks? Nobody imagined that. But now everybody is wearing masks. Could we have imagined 2 years back, perhaps a disease will come which will shake the foundations of civilization? No. But it did. Is this permanent? No. This is also not permanent. It will change. COVID-1, COVID-2, COVID-2, COVID-2. Then COVID-3, COVID-3, COVID. Whether 3 comes, 4 comes, 5, we have no idea. We just have to be precautionary in approach. That's all. Prevention is better than cure. Situation change. So everything around is temporary by nature. Including my relationships with people are temporary with nature. If I am happy, or sorry, put it the other way. If everybody in my house is happy, I am happy. If my wife smiles at me, I smile. If my husband smiles at me, I smile. If the children are happy and they produce good result, I am happy. Everything, my happiness is dependent on people around me. And that is susceptible to change like that. Suddenly the husband comes in a hysterical behavior and you come and find out, the wife finds out that he's lost his job. Now he doesn't know what to do. Is the house the same? No, situation has changed. After 2 days, he comes running and says, I got a job. You know that friend, that person who I meet here, he gave me a job. It's a beautiful job. Thank God the old job left. Again, he's happy. Happiness and sadness. Happiness keeps on fluctuating. My desires, they change. 5 years back, what it was, and 5 years hence is different. And now what I'm talking about Vedanta, perhaps when I see this recording, 5 years afterwards, I may say, God knows what I was talking. It's changed. Thoughts have changed. Intellect is changing. Physical body is certainly changing. You know, sir, what is the most developed state in our country, India? No. Which one? Madhya Pradesh. What are the criteria of development? No, sir, Madhya Pradesh. Stomach area, it should be developed. It changes. Now I am obese, now I am thin, now I am obese, now I am thin, now I am lethargy, now I am active. The physical body changes. Everything around me, including everything within me, changes. All these changes are going on, but I need to witness these changes. So when the person I is witnessing these changes around, then I need to be sitting or standing on a platform which doesn't change. The wheel rotates around the axis. The axis, the axle, is the one which stays stationary. Around it, the wheel rotates. The spokes are rotating, the wheel is rotating, every aspect of the wheel is rotating, not the axle, because it's based on the axle. So what is that permanent aspect? The witness within me that sees everything and yet is dispassionate. This is Viveka, understanding the discrimination between what is real and unreal. Once this happens systematically, Vairagya becomes easy. Subsequent steps are very easy. Vairagya, what you don't want. What you don't want, like the Granthas say, you are not supposed to get attracted to any sensual aspects which are not good for you. Your attraction, sorry, they don't say not good for you. They say your attraction towards sensual contacts and sensual people should be equivalent to a refuse of a crow. That line is used literally. You give up. Now you are not attracted. Once upon a time, I had some toys which I used to play very close to me. But now I have grown. I have outgrown them. The toys are still there. But some child comes to my house. I give those toys to the child and the child says, Uncle, can I take the toys from my mom? I say, yeah, beta. If you say don't, there is something wrong in your head. The idea is, you see, yeah. Once upon a time, it had a value. It doesn't have a value anymore. You have Phantom, yes. You have Superman, very good. You have everything. You just keep on shaking your head for the sake of the child. Take it. Vairagya becomes easy. Whatever is not needed, you start discarding it. Start discarding it physically first. Extra clothes, give it up. Just give it up. How many t-shirts? Somebody called me in their house and said, sir, I am finding very difficult to remove my clothes. Can you just help me? I said, all right. This is a long time back. Don't call me. Long time back. I went to that person's house, one of those close students, opened the cover, t-shirts and pants. I just kept on removing everything. Okay, you need 5 t-shirts. What more do you want? In 5 minutes, that person says, sir, I'll take care of it. You have a cup of tea and you leave. I'll take care, because I'm throwing everything away. What do you need? How much you need? How many wristwatches? How many shoes? How many clothes? I can't get rid of the junk outside. You see, how can I get rid of the junk inside? I can't even give anything outside. How am I supposed to give up my ego inside? How am I supposed to give up that attitude that I own and possess these things inside? Vairagya automatically comes. And when Vairagya comes, you have reached a different state. And that different state, you will get 6 qualities with you. These are called Shat Sampatti. These are all qualifications. You will get it. So idea is not that, oh my God, I need this 6. This is already there. We already have this quality. We just need to develop it. Sama, first quality. Sama means the internal desire and craving for something outside needs to be curtailed. Do I really need that now? It needs to be curtailed. This is the inner hankering for sense objects and relationships outside. Sama. Second, Dhamma. Dhamma is the assault of the senses on me. Even though I don't want it, I have a weakness, but the senses present itself, the stimuli, in such a way that the mind says, what's wrong? Let us do it. No, it's okay. So even that needs to be controlled. Sama, Dhamma. Then the third quality comes, Uparati. Uparati is where the mind is now slowly withdrawn. It doesn't readily indulge into everything. This you would have experienced when you sometimes go to parties and marriages and you sit in one corner and just go and continue eating ice cream and nobody is talking to you, and suddenly you feel this thought comes, what am I doing here? 2 days of marriage, 3 days of marriage, and this, I'm just sitting, I'm wasting my time. I could have used this time to something else concrete, something better in my life. I would be so productive. Sitting here and just some songs are going on, some enjoyment is going on. I'm just trying to enjoy this. This is not me. This is Uparati, the attitude comes. Fourth quality, Titiksha, endurance, the most misunderstood word in scriptures. Humko sabko maaf karna chahiye. Because when the other person is doing wrong, then that person will be punished by Lord. Here in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, you act as if you are a nimitta matra, you are just an instrument. So don't shrug your shoulders and say, this is not my responsibility. What to do? Jane do. We'll forgive. We'll forgive and forget. No, scriptures are never meant for the external world. So what is titiksha? Endurance. What do you endure? What I endure, sir, is at present I am studying the Bhagavad Gita, listening to lectures. These lectures introduce me to a higher aspect of life. After the lectures, I can retain the principles perhaps for 1 or 2 minutes. But when it is switched off, then the news channels start blaring in. Everything comes back with a bang. And my mind also gets dragged downwards. So my mind is constantly juggling between these higher aspects of life, which I need to reach as written in the Shastras, and the lower aspects of which keeps on pulling me, and the people around them who are pulling me, my own near and dear ones. And that struggle is getting a little too much, sir. That struggle is getting too much. At present, the mind drags down, the intellect takes you towards the higher, but the mind is more powerful than the intellect. So sometimes I end up, even when I don't want to, I end up getting agitated. I end up being sad. I end up crying. I end up being miserable. I end up being depressed, seeing everything outside. Correct. Things are bad. Yes. Situation is bad. Yes. Job front is bad. Yes. God knows what's going to happen. Yes. Everything is correct. What to do? Endurance with a smile. Titiksha is not only tolerating, it is endurance with a smile. Shrug your shoulders is hota hai yaar, theek hai, it's okay. This is the way the world is. Be careful as much as you can. जब बुलावा आएगा चले जाएंगे. What big difference? That attitude of enjoying the world as a sportsman enjoys his or her sports. This is titiksha. I know I have a weakness. I know I have to get out of it someday. And sir, what I'm happy is the fight is on. The fight is on, sir. Mind gets agitated, but sometimes the intellect comes and says, stop being agitated. Come on, do something. And then previously what used to happen, that I used to get agitated 3-4 days continuously, sir. When a situation used to go wrong, when my husband used to sell something, or when my wife is saying something, or my parents, I used to go completely agitated, stressed so much, 3-4 days. Now, sir, I'm happy to say I'm still agitated, but it lasts till evening. From morning to evening. By evening, I'm all right again. You have learned the technique of stopping your mind from getting agitated for 4 days and brought it down to few hours. Continue with your sadhana. Continue with your effort with a smile. And guarantee, I don't give guarantees. Lord Krishna gives guarantees. Even when the event is going to come, you already know the solution. While interacting with people, sometimes you know agitation is going to come and you're well prepared for those agitations. Then you will never get agitated. So this titiksha is important. When you have this fourth state, fifth, you have shraddha. All of you attending these classes religiously every Thursday, you are learning something or the other. I am also learning something or the other. And this shraddha, this faith in the higher has to be there. If you don't have faith, then you are in trouble. So faith should be there. That is what is shraddha. Shraddha is that level where you say, come what may, goodness has tremendous power. No. Actually, I've seen a lot of corrupt people, a lot of vicious people, also very successful, sir. Very, very successful. If you say that, then you are not seeing goodness. There are people, in vicious people, they are trying to see goodness. You know, Duryodhana, he was basically a very good person. He was put in the wrong side with the Kauravas because he was a bad person. Don't try to look goodness into bad. First, find goodness in good. Then, when the intellect is developed, you'll find everything else also different. So, second, this quality now, after the shraddha towards the higher. How can Jesus, Muhammad, Shams Tabriz, Rabia, Shakespeare, Adi Shankaracharya, Ramana Maharishi, Ram Tirth, Khalil Gibran, all these people, how are these people spread over across the world in different era and different time? One Shankara was in 12th century BC, Jnaneshwar was in 16th century, so many different periods, different, and yet all of them say the same thing, that God is within you. When all of them in different times, different eras, different personalities, different cultures can come with the same conclusion, kuch to hoga yaar. Perhaps they are right. So having surrendered to that thought, question, inquire, and go. Continuously inquire and experiment it in your life. This is Shraddha. When you live a life of Shraddha towards the higher, now nothing disturbs you. Now the mind is relatively calm. Should I say calm? Actually, no. Calm is a state a person experiences when the world goes through its positives and negatives. When negative comes, my mind gets agitated. When positive is there, my mind is calm temporarily. The next samadhana is actually tranquility. The mind has become tranquil. What are the difference between tranquility and calm? Tranquil has nothing to do with external situations. Under any circumstances and under every circumstances, I am completely peaceful. starts with what? Viveka. Discrimination. So start discriminating small things. What are the priorities in your life? Start doing that. What are not the priorities in life? Keep it away. Find out what is your duties and responsibilities, and the most important duty and responsibility is given by Swami Ramatirtha. Your only mission in life is to be self-sufficient, self-poised, and self-pleased. When you have these four qualifications, yaha saha, he who has these four qualifications, they will reach me. Each one at a lower level, we all have these four qualifications. We have got out of our toys, we have got out of our lower areas and come to a higher range. We will leave this also. Every aspect. So the spiritual ideas also of karma, bhakti, selfless action to the society, none of them is going to take you that end. They will take you to a particular, but not beyond that. Like a pole vaulter, when he is running with a pole, he has to peg the pole inside, bend the pole with all his might, and then heave himself up to a level where the bar is there. And at that level, he throws the pole away and jumps across the bar. A pole vaulter cannot jump without the pole. And it is equally true, a pole vaulter cannot jump across the bar with the pole. Similarly, all our spiritual sadhanas of going to temples and churches and mosques and doing karma yoga and bhakti yoga, devotion and jnana yoga studies, all these are important exactly like a pole is to the pole vaulter. And when you reach the pinnacle, a time will come and shall come where you throw all these practices behind and you move the other side. After that, 2 into 2, 4. Tables of 2. 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 2, 8, 8 into 2, 6. You know it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. You know. Now you know how to make words and sentences. After that, you don't need to go on repeating tables of 2s and 3s and alphabets A to Z. It's done. Similarly, this is done. Once you have Shraddha, Viveka, Vairagya, everything follows till the last, tranquil. And then, these are the Shat Sampatis, 6 qualities. Viveka, Vairagya, you develop Shat Sampati. After that, Samadhana, last quality, Mumukshatva. You become a Mumukshu. So, Viveka, Vairagya, the 6 qualities, Mumukshu. Mumukshu is the burning desire to liberate oneself. Come what may, I don't want to be shackled. So imagine you are sitting in a chair and I come there and I tie you up completely. Completely. You are not able to move at all. And I give you all the facilities, perhaps a TV before you, food, every comfort is taken care of. Only I am telling you, you cannot free yourself. How long can you be happy? All right. It is different if I tie you with gold chains. Chalo, take that. I tie you with gold and diamond chains stuck to the chair. What would you want? Freedom. Exactly the same way. Most of us, if not all, are bounded by these chains of entanglements of relationships in its own nature. Binding. I have to do this because of that person. I have to do this. We are always thinking from that point of view. We don't do what is right and we don't avoid what is wrong. We do because that person demands it. This mental chain, we are all caught up in our own mental asylums. Mukshatva is you don't give me food, doesn't matter. You don't give me water to drink, doesn't matter. You don't give me anything, nothing. I don't want any comfort. Just let me go, man. Let me be free. This attitude is mumukshatva. When you have these four qualities, it's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. You can reach it easily. We move on to the next verse. Now we are moved into chapter 7. Same thing. Krishna explains that for you who has got Shraddha, who is dedicated to me, I will explain how it goes. And then he gives this example. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschidyatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhana kaschinmam veti tatvatah. Among thousands of men, scarce one strives for perfection. Of those who strive and succeed, scarce one knows me in essence. Hundreds of people are struggling. The same verse which we did last time, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's example. Hundreds of people are struggling. Hundreds of people. Out of that, thousands of people, men, scarce one strives for. So the onus of change and responsibility is not on God, is not on scriptures, is not on teachers. It is only on student. Do you want perfection? Yes, then you will get it. No, but this is okay, whatever we are doing, it's all right. Then you will get that only. Don't try to fail. Try to always succeed in every way. Result doesn't matter, but you do your best in whatever way it is. So out of thousands of people, someone strives to perfection. Out of those who strive, out of 1,000 people, one person strives. Out of those collections of one, imagine 10 who strive and succeed. Amongst them, the rare one knows me in essence. So, out of millions and millions of people, the population of this country, 1.3 billion. Amongst all this, how many people are now agitated? 90%? Yeah, 90%. How many people are trying not to get agitated? The rest 10%, sir. Very good mathematics, very good. And out of this 10%, how many people are listening to good things so that they don't get agitated? 1%. Out of that 1% who are listening to the satsang, not this satsang, any satsang for that matter, to develop their intellect so that the problem no more seems a problem. That's all. Out of that 1%, how many of them are serious about their studies, about their analysis of what knowledge really is, turns that knowledge into wisdom by assimilating that knowledge and start living it and becoming the Paramatma, the rare one. Congratulations. You are that rare one amongst 1.3 billion, where everybody is more or less agitated. You are focusing to listening to something which can enhance your spiritual growth and think from your intellect to come up with solutions to the problems that you are facing in your own life. You are taking charge of your life. You are going to change. We are going to change. And you are that one person who strive and succeed and reach the highest. Rest, let them be. There is no comparison in spirituality if what others are doing. The only comparison in spiritual life, you, me, and everybody is remember only one thing. Am I doing better than my past? The comparison is only between the past agitation and the present happiness. How much I have evolved. Focus on that. Study, discipline, exercise, life goes on very smoothly. You are blessed to have a human life. We could have been born as a plant. We could have been born as an animal, an octopus. We could have been born as so many men in war-torn areas where opportunities are not there to study and raise yourself to a higher level of life. Even among these countries where war is not there, we are blessed to have a faculty called the subtle intellect, which focuses on self-improvement. And out of that, we are really, really lucky to have this Shastra with us, which enhances our living and growth, and ultimately sees to it that we desist from identification with a limited lower personality and reach the highest Paramatma, the infinite reality. How blessed are we? We'll continue next time. Thank you. Oh